Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we got level 80 Venom here that we're going to showcase with a slightly tuned rotation and, way more damage. Because if you thought level 70 Venom was good, just wait until you see what level 80 Venom can do. So there we go. So the new Venom's really good, okay? But we just went from 25 seconds to 17-second phase 1. And we just one-shot phase 2. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Level 80 Venom just one-shot the second life of Mephisto on stage 29. This is a good day for symbiotes, okay? That's all I gotta say. And so this is the rotation that we're using here. It's a more relaxed rotation, and he's gone. Wow. He's dead. I didn't even get a chance to talk about his rotation. Okay. Well, remember how we went from 5 seconds to 3 minutes on the clear time? Having 5 seconds left and then having 3 minutes left. Now we have 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. So, yeah, that's what happens, I guess, when you're Venom. You go from being pretty good to being an uber god to being an omega god. Okay, so that Mephisto showcase went a little too fast, so we're gonna go to stage 62. This is the highest stage of Null that I have unlocked so far, and we're gonna do the same rotation here because I want to talk about the rotation and talk about how I think you should relax more when you're playing Venom. Okay, so as you're gonna see here, we're taking it a little bit more slowly. We're not spamming right to the tier 3 skill. Okay, and the reason for that is basically you do really good damage still, and it's just way more chill and fun. And that's a huge part of playing this game that I often don't highlight because I'm meta chasing. So I really wanted to highlight this with Venom. So we're doing 3 cancel 5, 3 delay, small delay cancel 5, small delay cancel 4, and we're letting it rip. And then once he's done roaring, we go into the second skill and let that play out. Then when we have the tier 3 up, we're opening with the tier 3 and then going right back into the same rotation. So it's a very relaxed rotation. There's no crazy spam. You're not worried about sticky buttons. This is very chill kind of gameplay. But as you can see, he's still an absolute monster. And this is actually the preferred rotation for ABL, Alliance Battle Legend, which I'll be showcasing in a second. In a minute when we're done with this. So the reason why I'm doing this here is because it's going to make sense when you see it in Alliance Battle Legend. And I find that having more cohesion between builds and between rotations is going to be easier for players, because a lot of players are going to be jumping on the Venom train. A lot of players are also going to be wanting to participate in Alliance Battle Legend. And so, okay, that's the mistake I just made. The tier 3 has a very large range, and you can accidentally cast it when you're too far away to cancel into the third skill. So you want to make sure that you don't make that mistake. That I literally just made. We're spamming a little bit here because we wanted to kick him out of the that spike phase. But yeah, 2 minutes in and we're already in the dragon phase. I think this is fantastic. So yeah, this is the rotation we're using. So 3, as soon as he slams down the first axe, you cancel into 5. You wait about a second for him to jump and the little heads to appear, and then you go into 4. 4, he's going to do this huge roar. And then you're going to cancel after the roar. So we're going to slam down, jump in, do the roar, and then cancel into the 2 for the spin. And that's basically the rotation here. But yeah, I want to recommend this sort of more relaxed rotation because not only is it still very effective, like I said, it's also best for Alliance Battle Legend, which is important. And it's just fun to play, man. It's just fun to play. You may be able to squeeze a little bit more damage out of him with a bit more aggressive rotation. But again, I find that it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. He's so good. He's so amazing. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes and 17 seconds left on stage 62. He's absolutely ripping it, and this is at tier 3. We are using Agent Venom lead, but for those of you wondering, you could substitute Agent Venom for She-Hulk. Much more free-to-play friendly leadership, and he'll actually clear this a little bit faster. If Agent Venom had a 4 or 5 or 6 star artifact, I think he might be a little bit faster than She-Hulk because that artifact affects symbiotes and gives them increased damage to supervillains, I believe. I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Whereas She-Hulk's artifact only applies to Gamma allies, not to Venom. But yeah, I wanted to make this comparison, and I wanted to show you guys because He's crazy. He's crazy good at level 70. We already showcased that. He's crazy good at level 80. This, I think, is a really worthwhile investment. You know, we talk about how some characters in the tier 4 category, like more recently, Black Widow, Blue Dragon, and even Moon Knight, they don't feel good at level 80. They feel weak. They feel underpowered. They feel like they need the tier 4 to be useful. That is not the case here with Venom. This feels like a harkening back to Thor and to Iron Man, where they feel so strong at level 80, and unlike Storm, they have the tankiness to boot. So now we're going to take him into a new piece of content. This is Alliance Battle Legend, and I want to show you guys how he does. My score is not that good. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the best Alliance Battle Legend player, so for those of you hoping to see like an in-depth guide right now, I won't be doing that. But I will be I'll talk about what I'm doing as I'm playing, okay? You can use Agent Venom lead, or you could use Abomination. Agent Venom is better. They're both paywall in some way, so it's sort of just pick your poison. There are better options for today, like Moon Knight tier 4 with a Rage. My Hulk with a Regen is what got me the 5.5 million or the 5.4 something million. But there are already players who can get over 5 million with a level 70 Venom. So I really cannot stress how good he is for this content. It feels like a lot like Doctor Strange when Dormammu came out. He's so strong, even though the content isn't necessarily made for him. So again, we're doing the exact same rotation that we were doing before, and this is what I think is really important, because it builds familiarity for the player, and it builds, like your muscle memory gets better and better and better, right? Because you're practicing the same thing over and over again. Here, because we have to cancel, we're actually going to go 5 into 4 first, and then 3, and then 2. Okay, because we need to do the fracture cancel, so that is really important to remember. Here we kind of got shafted because he moved. I should have waited just a little bit longer. I think we don't get the we don't get the dino. I canceled the tier 3 a little bit too fast. I was worried about not being in range, and we talked about the range issue with the tier 3 during Mephisto's or during Null's run. So it's important to recognize here that you can also make the same mistake where you start the rotation with the tier 3. On the third rotation, you start it very far back of Surtur, and then you end up not being able to cancel out. So yeah, here I'm not going to rush the tier 3. I'm going to take my time. Surtur's going to get his before I. Even there, I was a bit rushed. And again, he moves out of the way of me. So again, this is not the cleanest possible run. He is moving around a lot, which is unfortunate. But there we go. We're a minute and a half in, and we're almost at 3 million. I wish I was at 3 million right now. That would be sort of the best run potentially. So we are a bit behind schedule, but that also has to do, like I said, with the movement and stuff like that. Started the rotation a little bit earlier with the 3. Here I'm just going to hold the tier 3. I'm not going to go into the next rotation because at 110 he jumps into the middle. But again, here we're going to open the rotation with the tier 3, then the 5, then the 4, then the 3. And so I like this rotation a lot because not only is it chill, but the 3 has a much shorter cooldown than the others than 4 and 5. And so you're able to cycle back to it much faster. And this rotation also gives you time in between to go ahead and collect the Odin Might, which boosts your score massively. So that's another thing to consider is... I keep getting hit by that and losing score. That's another thing to consider is you got to sort of build that in. Here, this is really good timing because we have the tier 3 up for when Odin drops his last Might, and we get that huge score boost. So we're going to do tier 3, 3, 5, 4. And we get that massive score increase. We run up the clock, or run up the score here. Open with the 3. Again, he's going to move, which is unfortunate. We're very unlucky this time around with all the movement. It doesn't always happen, so there is a layer of RNG to it. We also weren't able to squeeze in our last tier 3 before Odin's Might ran out. And we're just going to spam. This has basically been my best score, or right around my best score with Venom. Again, I'm not the best Alliance Battle Legend player, not the best ABX player either, but I think this is really impressive, considering he's only 500,000 points behind Hulk, who is tier 4. Now, of course, you could give Hulk a Rage, and then he would get 6 million, sure, but we've seen from other content like Alliance Battle Extreme, Rage is not good for Hulk. It doesn't really add much to his score. It adds to it in World Boss Legend, or, you know, it's effective in World Boss Legend, or it's effective in Dormammu, but not really in ABX. So, plus people want to build their Hulk for PvP. So the fact that he can almost compete with a tier 4 at level 80, you know, he does have a Rage, does have a pretty nice build, but he still has the level 4 advancement to go for himself, right? So he'll be an easy 6 million when you get him to tier 4, which is really nice and very, very smooth to play. He'll probably compete with Moon Knight. I don't know if he'll be able to beat Moon Knight, because Moon Knight has that really nice artifact that works really well in ABX and ABL. But I'm really, really impressed with Venom. And I'm really happy to see such a good rework, because unlike other characters that could be getting uniforms, we know the deal with Venom and Sony. You know, these uniforms, we're lucky to get them, and they're comics based, but if Venom doesn't get another huge run in the comics, we may never see another Venom uniform. I don't mean to say that as a FOMO thing. What I mean to say is that I'm really happy that the devs realized and recognized they wanted to highlight Venom, they wanted to make him strong. You know, it's comics accurate, it's all these things, but also just for the longevity of the game, right? MFF is going to run another 3-4 years, let's say. The possibility of Venom having another run like King in Black in the comics, it could be 0, right? Like other characters, there's so many Marvel characters to get featured, and because Sony owns the rights to Venom, and we've seen, we didn't get a uniform for Venom 1 with Tom Hardy, we didn't get a uniform for Venom 2 and for Carnage, right? So the possibilities of him getting uniforms is much smaller than Namor, Black Panther, Wolverine, these other Marvel characters, the other combat heroes, Mr. Fantastic, who we know are either already featured in existing MCU content or will be getting their own MCU content shortly. So I really appreciate the fact that the devs knocked it out of the park with Venom. He's so good, and I cannot wait to tier 4 him. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Tier 4 video coming soon. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.